there are a few thousand books on Amazon, right? Just to have a book is not enough. What you want to do is take your book and use it as the cornerstone of your marketing message so that your credibility goes up in the eyes of your audience. And that's really the only place it matters.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Today we have a special guest, Michael DeLon. Michael serves business owners and thought leaders to create a book without writing a word. Yeah, you heard that right. He teaches you how to write a book without writing a word. As a #1 Amazon best-selling author and America's foremost authority on credibility marketing, he teaches how to establish and market your credibility to gain more clients. Business owners seek out Michael to clarify their message, make them a best-selling author, and set up their profitable podcast. These business owners use his credibility marketing strategies to gain clients, get referrals, and grow their revenue. He's been at it since 2013. He's worked with business owners across the United States and internationally to establish and market their credibility. Michael, say hello.
Hey, hello everybody. Marco, thank you for having me. That all sounds pretty good.
Yeah, quite a bio you've got there, working with business owners and teaching them I'm interested on how to write a book without writing much of a word.
That's right. Yeah.
I have not published a book yet, and it is on my bucket list to do for many of the same reasons that you point out here. I really don't have a need or a desire, in my case, to change the world with some powerful message, or some deep message that I want to get out there and share. But I do like the idea of having a book designed to help to establish more credibility of my own, make me the authority in marketing via incentives and so forth. So maybe we can chat a little bit about ideas that I would use, but let's first get into your story. How did you end up doing this? Something about escaping from jail that I read about you.
Yeah. We all have.
Tell us. Yeah, go ahead. Give us a little bit of your background.
We all have backgrounds. We all have skeletons in the closet, right? So this all started when I escaped from prison. Now, you got to know that's not a literal prison, Marco, okay? It was an emotional prison where I was stuck for 3 years in a job that I hated at a ministry that I loved, okay? So let me give you the backstory real quick. I'm a follower of Christ. I've been married since 1990 to my wife, Jill. And we got 4 kids, 2 adopted from foster care. And when we got married in 90, she and I had both grown up in church, Marco. Nobody ever taught us how to be married. So the first 5 years of our marriage were like this, man. We just fought and had conflict. And 5 years into that, we went to a marriage conference by a Christian ministry called Family Life and sat in a ballroom with 1,000 people as they unpacked God's blueprints for marriage. I didn't know he had any blueprints, man. So we grabbed his blueprints. We started working on our marriage, and it started getting better. This was in the 90s, okay? Back then, I was in Christian radio sales. So I was trying to sell you and business owners Christian radio ads and things. And I learned after 2 years, nobody wants to buy Christian radio. What they want to do is sell their products and services. And so I had a choice to make, Marco. I could either become really good at selling or really good at marketing. So I chose marketing, and I bought all the books. I went to the conferences. I followed the gurus, and I learned how to do marketing for small business owners in my hometown. And so I helped them grow their business, and my business grew. That was through the 90s. And that's where I learned marketing for small business owners. at the end of the 90s, God led us out of that to a startup.com back when this little company called Amazon was just getting started. And I was selling banner ads and stuff to car dealerships. That lasted 2 years because that company was ahead of their time. That means they went bankrupt. And so I was standing in my living room going, God, what am I supposed to do now? He spoke to my heart. He said, I want you to ministry to families and marriages. I want you at Family Life down in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we moved, and that was the ministry that changed my marriage and my life. So we moved from Indiana down to Little Rock, Arkansas. And I thought I hit nirvana. Why would I ever do anything else, Marco? Help other people have strong marriages based on the same principles that impacted me. So I was serving them and climbed the corporate ladder. 6 years later, I was on the leadership team of the ministry. Things were great until they started going through corporate reorganizations. Well, the third reorganization chart came out, and my name was no longer on the leadership team. That's when I went into prison. And so they kept me in prison for 2 or 3 years doing jobs around the ministry that needed to be done, but they weren't what I was great at. And so I finally got fed up. I said, I got to go. I prayed. I talked to my wife, and God said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to help small business owners with marketing because they struggle with it, but I love it. And he said, go. So on January 1st of 2013, Marco, I escaped from prison. And I left the ministry and I started a marketing consulting firm. And I'd call you, and I had one client, I helped him break through some barriers. He'd refer me to you, let's say. I'd come and talk to you and say, Marco, I can help you grow your business. And we'd have a great conversation. And somewhere in that conversation, you'd say, Michael, tell me, what have you done in the last few years? Who else have you helped? And I said, well, I've helped build marriages and families at Family Life. And you'd say, Michael, that's honorable. Way to go. Oh, look at the time, Michael. I've got another meeting coming up. Let's reschedule and talk another day. And you'd usher me out the door because you didn't believe I could help you, Marco, because you saw me as a ministry guy, not a marketing guy. So I wasn't getting any clients, and I knew I had to fix it. So I went to my church one day. I was pacing the hallways, praying. I said, God, how do I help Marco? Because I know I can. And God gave me the idea to take all of my strategies and put them in a book. And so I did. Back in 2013, I published my first book on marketing. Then I would call you, Mark. I'd set an appointment. I'd mail you a copy of my book. And a week later, I'd walk into your office for our meeting. And there it was. My book was on your desk, dog-eared, highlighted, and underlined. You'd read my book. And in that meeting, Marco, you'd say, now, Michael, in your book, you said, how do you help me do that? And you'd hire me. Now, Marco, the only thing that changed between the first time I met with you and that other time I met with you is the fact that you got a copy of my book before I walked in to see you. Powerful. And as soon as you got a copy of my book, you instantly saw me as an expert in marketing and you hired me. That changed my business and my life. And I said, why don't business owners do this? Well, it's hard to write a book. You haven't done it yet. It's challenging. I tell people never write a book. And we created a system where business owners, experts, thought leaders can create a book without writing a word. And then we teach them how to use their book to gain clients. It's so super simple. It's amazing. So that's my long story.
Long story short. Well, I thought you were going to have something more. I thought it was going to be more like Papillon, how you escaped from multiple prisons over your life.
I've been on the lam. I've been on the lam. Yeah.
You've been on the lam, but no, that's a great story. You escaped from the straitjacket of the corporate world and got out there and built a business. That's awesome. And writing a book. So why do you tell people to never write a book? What do you mean by that? If your business is about helping people write books?
Yeah, because actually sitting in front of your computer and trying to type out a book is the worst thing you can do. Because a number of things. Number one, your brain doesn't work very well that way for most entrepreneurs. We are communicators. We speak. And when I first started writing my book, what I would do is I would sit down and I would type out a few sentences. And then I would stop and go, no, that's not right. And I'd hit backspace, and fix it. And that self-editing process was terrible. And so what I tell people now is never write a book. You should always speak to write your book, that's the process we created, is the speak to write process. Whether you hire me or whether you open up Word and use the dictate function, doesn't matter. Build an outline and speak your content just like you do talking with prospects. Get it out of your head onto a document that you can now massage and work with. That's why I say never write a book. You should always speak to write it.
Speak it first and then start editing away.
100%.
Awesome. So one of the things you like to talk about is developing and coming up with that clear message as the
Yeah.
first step. How do you go about that? I mean, that's probably one of the biggest challenges we all have is what is the message and how do we make it clear to
Yeah.
boot?
It really is. And that's where I see most business owners struggle and fail. And they're running after every tactic on earth, but they don't have a clear message. So the way we do it is we've got a process and a system. I ask 8 questions of every client. And the answers to those 8 questions give me enough insight into who they are, their background, their purpose, their plan, and what separates and differentiates them from their competitors, that we are able to help them get that crystal clear message. What I find is most business owners aren't telling their story. And it's your story that sets you apart from everybody else. Okay. Real quick, let me give you one example. I've got dozens of examples. Let me give you one. Personal injury attorney down in Florida. He's the little guy against 2 big like Goliaths. Okay. And he comes to me and he's like, I got to find a way to compete. I can't outspend them. And so I got his story. I said, all right, William, why do you live in Florida? He's like, well, I came down here on a college baseball scholarship. And I was going to go to the pros as a baseball pitcher. 2 years into my college, I threw my arm out, had to get surgery, rehabilitation, PT, all of that, killed my baseball career, killed my college career. He pivoted, finished college, became an attorney, personal injury attorney. And I said, William, have you ever told anybody that story? And he said, no. I said, we're going to. So we took that story and crafted that into his book, and we published his book, and it's called When Life Throws You a Curveball: What to Do After You've Been Hit in a Serious Accident, by William Franke, baseball player turned attorney. That's a different message that's unique to him. Now, when he goes on the morning show, the TV morning show, he walks in with his suit, but he has a baseball mitt and a baseball in his hand, because his background is baseball. And now he can say, you know, Marco, if life's thrown you a curveball, if you've been hit in a car, if you've been bit by a dog, you've been falling at work, I understand right where you are because I've been there. Do you think that message connects with his audience better than, we just won a case for $18 billion?
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
Every business owner has that kind of a story. They're just not telling it. We just help them. We just extract it from them through our process. That's how we get it.
Powerful. Yeah, I could see how that would make certainly a deeper connection than, Morgan and Morgan. We're the biggest, the baddest. And so
Yeah. I mean,
that's his main message. We're bigger. Bigger is better. Oh, well.
100%. And
Yeah.
and some
And
people
this
go after that, and that's okay. But if you're the small guy, you've got to tell your story, because it's all about connecting to the heart. If you reach the heart, the mind will follow.
Mhm. So what kind of how big an investment should I, or as a business owner, do I need to plan for and budget for to maybe hire a company like you to help me write that book? If you
Yeah,
don't mind me throwing that out there,
that's a
just
great question. Everybody asks me that, So a couple things on the low end for us. And now understand, it's done for you. The only thing we don't do is the content, because you're the expert, but we're going to extract that from you. So you're not going to write anything. We're going to take care of all the editing, publishing, design, everything. Okay. On the very low end right now, you're looking at about $1,500 a month for 12 months. That's $18,000 to get your own book created, a book that's going to be an asset for the rest of your career. On the high end for us, it's about $45,000. So that's $7,500 a month for 6 months. Just depends really on what you want, because at those higher levels, it's not just a book, but we'll make an Amazon best-selling author. We'll create an audiobook for you. We'll create a podcast around your book and interview you on that. We'll give you proven marketing systems to build your credibility and gain clients. And we'll back it up with a 2-year, double your money back guarantee in writing. I know it works, Marco.
wow. All right. So why is it not enough to just be an author? So what, I was reading your profile and what have you. One of the things that came up in there was, yeah, obviously you're promoting, be a book, be an author, show your credibility. What do you mean by more than just an author.
Yeah, you got to be more. I don't know if you've been to Amazon lately. There are a few thousand books on Amazon, right? Just to have a book is not enough. If you don't know how to use your book to gain clients as a business owner, don't do it. Okay, don't write. It's not enough just to say, I've got a warehouse full of books. I've got a garage full of books. Who cares? What you want to do is take your book and use it as the centerpiece, the cornerstone of your marketing message. So now when you do webinars or Facebook ads or Google or TikTok or whatever tactic and strategy you're using, the call to action should be, why don't you go get a free copy of my book at my website? And now you give them a free electronic version. I capture their email. Okay, I'm starting to build my list. That's your number one asset in your business. And then you offer them, well, let me just mail you a free copy of it. Just tell me where to put it in the mail. I'll have it to you in 2 or 3 days. 50% of those people will give you their mailing address. Now I can do direct mail to them. How many business owners today, Marco, are really doing direct mail marketing? Nobody.
Yeah, everybody's going to the digital version, email and texting, and gotten away from the old school direct mail, which still works.
Oh, it still works. Yeah. So that's just one system that I teach of why a book is not enough. You've got to have some marketing behind it. And once you create your book, you've got 10 or 12 chapters of content. You're never at a loss of something to say.
Right. Hold that thought. We're going to take a break and listen to one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Welcome back to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. We're here with the Paperback Expert, Michael DeLon, and we are talking about how to build that credibility, how to have that authority, and how to use a book first, how to get the book written, but then more importantly, once you've got that book, how to make sure that book is turning a profit for you, generating leads, capturing data online, getting those emails, mailing addresses, phone numbers where you can get people to download your ebook or printed book. And so take it away, Michael. Give us some more insights on, how. One of the things you often talk about is whether or not, how to build that credibility with or without a book.
Yeah. Well, building that credibility goes back to what we talked about with William Franke, right? It's the story. Here's one of my marketing Michaelisms. I don't even know what to call it yet, but it's people will buy you and who you are more than what you do. I want to connect with you. If Marco, if I came to your hometown and we went out for dinner or drinks or something, we would spend the first 15, 20 minutes kind of doing that dance, finding common ground. And my question to business owners is, why are you waiting for that first interaction to do that? Put that in the book, mail your book out to somebody, let them have a 1 or 2 hour conversation with you in the privacy of their home as they're reading your book and getting to know you, how you operate, and how you've helped other people solve the same challenges they're facing. When you do that, they're going to book onto your calendar. And when they show up, when you follow our systems of preconditioning prospects to hire you before you ever meet with them, when they show up on that Zoom call or however you meet with somebody, they're already conditioned to trust you because they've already spent time with you. This is not a first meeting. This is a second or a third. And then we do proper follow-up after a meeting. Marco, I don't know if you know that I send personal handwritten thank yous to my prospects. When was the last time you got a handwritten thank you in the mail? Right? It's a system we teach because we forget how important that is. And so I look at who you are and how can you connect with somebody at a deeper level that none of your competitors are doing. So if you come to me looking for the next Facebook ad marketing campaign, you are going to be sorely displeased because that is not what I'm going to teach you.
No, no kidding. So, what about? I mean, I know obviously your service is about a paperback book, but what have you had any clients, or have you seen the folks do kind of create a magazine style about themselves or their services as an option versus a book, building that credibility?
We've done some, yeah, and magazines are great. I've got a partner who does the magazines that want for us. Once the book is created, then you can go to my partner. I'll introduce you to them, and they can help you create your own magazine, because magazines stay around. They don't have quite the I mean, a great magazine puts you on the map, right? But it doesn't, in the mind of people, it doesn't have quite the pizzazz of credibility of being an author. I don't know why. I don't need to know why. I would say do both. But if you know somebody who can do a great magazine and you could do it bi-monthly or quarterly, absolutely. It's a great way to start. You just don't have it, just doesn't have the gravity of saying, I'm an Amazon best-selling author.
Right. Right.
That grabs people's attention. Follow that up with, and I have my own quarterly magazine that I'm happy to mail you, or I do a print newsletter every month as well. So it's all of those media channels that a business owner needs to be looking at to position. I mean, look at Tony Robbins or Seth Godin or Dave Ramsey. I mean, they all have media channels. Business owners can do the same thing if you just strategically think about it and lay it out.
Yeah, because we know, or you should know, that business owners, I mean, that consumers need to see or hear about your brand from 7 to 15 times
Yep.
before they're taking action on your product or service. And if you can get somebody picking up your book and flipping through it, uh, you got 10 chapters you just covered, or 12, 15 chapters you just covered the 50. In other words, now it's really all there in that creating that authority and credibility. I need to get to writing a book. Uh,
Absolutely.
what do you on your website? By the way, I should show that. Let me well, those that are watching this on video. Let me see if I can get that up on here. The paperback. What is it? The
It's just
paperbackexpert.com. Let me pull.
paperbackexpert.com. Really simple.
And but what is it about the authority calculator?
Oh,
Tell us about that.
the, the credibility calculator. So I talk a lot about credibility and boosting your credibility. And I started getting questions from everyone saying, well, what is credibility? How do you define it? What do people look for to know whether or not you're credible or not? So we created this calculator in under 5 minutes by answering 20 simple questions. We will give you your score. So if you click that little red button at the top, it'll take you to a new page, but it's 20 questions, really simple. We'll give you a score of 0 to 100 to tell you what your credibility is today in the eyes of your audience. And then following that, I'm going to deliver to you 5 videos that will teach you how to increase the credibility you have in the mind of your audience. And that's what you really have to understand, is that marketing happens between the ears in the mind of your audience. It's how they think about you. Okay. That's why, Marco, when I wrote my book and I mailed you a copy of my book, you thought of me differently. I was no longer just a marketing guy or a advertising guy. I was an expert because I had a book. It's the credibility I had in your eyes that allowed you to gave you the confidence to hire me. The credibility calculator, under 5 minutes, you're going to know your score 0 to 100 with 5 videos that follow that teach you how to improve your score so that your credibility goes up in the eyes of your audience. And that's really the only place it matters.
And one more time, they can find that at the expert paperback
Yeah. Paperbackexpert.com.
paperbackexpert.com. Sorry for getting that backwards.
Yeah, that's okay.
Paperbackexpert.com. That'll be in the show notes down below. By the way, folks, if you're liking the content we're giving you right now, please like, share, and subscribe below. We're going to come back in just a moment and talk more with Michael DeLon about writing writing your book, becoming an expert, being the authority, and having the credibility. We'll be right back when we hear from Automation Booster.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
Well, you just heard from Automation Booster on how to build your business using automation, how to follow up with clients properly with that CRM that delivers email, text messaging, voicemail broadcasting, and building the funnel builder with all the Marketing Boost incentives built in. If you haven't checked out Automation Booster, go do that now. And we're back with Michael DeLon. Michael, give us some more on that credibility calculator, and tell us more about how that's free, is it not, on
That's
your
totally
website?
100% free, Marco. 100% free. Just go to paperbackexpert.com, invest 5 minutes, and answer the questions. We'll give you your score, followed by 5 videos that help you improve the credibility in the eyes of your audience. Okay, it's how people think about you. Now, I want to hop on.
And that'll help me as a business owner. That'll help me regardless of whether I write a book with you or not. It's going to just help me start setting up these steps I need to take to improve my credibility with my audience, and then I can
Absolutely. Because I think only 2 of the questions in that 20 has anything to do with a book. Some of them have to do with, are you getting referrals from people? Are you do you have on your website, do you have experts talking about how good you are? Okay. How long have you been in business? There are different questions that go through the mind of your audience that we help you answer through those 20 questions. It's really simple, but most business owners don't think the way that a prospect thinks. And your prospects looking for some things, they rarely tell you what these are. That's why we did the research to figure out what are the 20 questions that need to be answered to know, am I a credible source or not? That's what you're going to get there. I love your automation booster that we just heard the ad on, because if you think about it, whether you do a book or not, you've got a body of content. Okay, Marco, you've got a body of content. You should be able to take that and outline it and say, here are 20 different topics you can talk about. Those go into Automation Booster as emails. All right, so think about your book. Okay, my book, I could take each chapter. I could do a podcast on each chapter. I could do a blog post on each chapter. I could write an email on each chapter. I could do a mini webinar on each chapter. There are so many ways to take this one asset called your book, once you have the content done, and use an Automation Booster process system to take your message out to your audience. And with everything that Automation Booster does, when they're clicking on it, they're coming back to you. It's just amazing. Business owners don't use CRMs like Automation Booster, and they need to. And I'm glad that you created one that makes it super simple for business owners, because most of us aren't techies. We need Automation Booster. So well done.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, no, we added that to the platform because we just realized this is a need that our clients, our Marketing Boost members, they join Marketing Boost and they don't know how to plug in the offers. And so we created, dozens of these sales templates.
Yes.
With multiple industry niches, showing ideas on how to plug the incentive in, which could be a part, obviously, for your individual business. If you've got a book, if you've got an ebook, if you've got a PDF download, your draw card, something to help you acquire that email, phone number, and contact information, so you could start a drip marketing campaign designed to sell your credibility of your service. But obviously, adding a book to the mix is, a huge credibility authority stamp that anybody out there should consider doing.
It is, because and one of the reasons, Marco, honestly, is because in the mind of your audience, in your mind right now, what has kept you from creating your book? And you told us up front, time. You don't have time. It's hard work. Writing's one thing. What about editing and proofreading and layout and navigating Amazon's maze and all that? There's so much to it. And your audience knows that. And so when you're an author, they know intrinsically this is not a weekend event. You've invested time, effort, energy, money, and your expertise to bring it to bear. Unlike writing a blog post or shooting a TikTok video. Those are easy. Everybody can do that. You need to be doing something that your competitors are not doing to separate yourself and to elevate yourself in the mind of your audience.
Great idea. And you make it affordable and you make it relatively easy. And, it's about, as you say, you help extract those 20 points or 8 points to get that message clear, and then help you develop and write the content by speaking it first, getting that message out on speaking. Tell me about your podcast service. What do you do there? Do you help me our members? Do you help somebody actually start and launch their podcast, or get them interviewed on podcasts with their book once it's developed?
Yeah, a little bit of both, but primarily number one, we're going to create your podcast around the content and title of your book. So let's say back to William Franke, the personal injury, right? When life throws you a curveball, that would probably be the title of his podcast, right? Because it ties in. Now, we are going to interview you on every chapter of your book, so you get to have conversations. And then one of my marketing systems and strategies is to teach you how to use your podcast to make it what I call a profitable podcast, because I believe a podcast should generate revenue for your business. And so we've got systems that we teach and give you to do that. But no, we will take care of creating the podcast. We get it syndicated everywhere. We interview you because, well, experts get interviewed, right? And we take care of all of that for you, just like we do your book. We're doing all of the grunt work.
Cool. That's powerful. So folks, how do our members find more about you, Michael?
Yeah. Paperbackexpert.com. That is the hub of all things Michael. Everything you need to know about us, our services, right there. You can schedule a call with me. You can get free trainings, lots of videos. Take the credibility calculator, paperbackexpert.com.
And that sounds like the first step. Again, it's free. Is there anything else on your site? It's free that'll give people some coaching and training on that.
Oh, there's all kinds of things. Yeah, there's a whole free section. I've done free trainings on our marketing systems of how to build credibility. It's in there under the training section. Probably there are some free webinars you can take. We are very transparent about what we do, and we want to educate, because I know this is a big deal for people. I tell people you're stepping into a dark room that you've never been in before when you think about writing a book. It's okay. I've been in the room. I know where the light switch is. Just let me guide you through the process, make you feel comfortable with the process and with us. Then let's have a conversation to see if this is the right next step for you now, or maybe in a year from now. We don't know.
Paperbackexpert.com. Go take the credibility calculator. That's free. There's a bunch of training once you've gone through that as well. Folks, if you've been listening to this content from the expert Michael DeLon, and if you like the content we've shared with you, please click like, share, and subscribe in the links below. Check out the link for the paperbackexpert.com below. And Michael, thank you very, very much for your time this afternoon. And our audience is going to love your content. We really appreciate it. I love the idea. So I just need to, probably hire you to get the job done here.
That's right. Let's get her done, and let's put your book on Amazon. Marco, thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
Thank you very much as well.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.